Every single white person knows somebody who is racist. Racist towards black people, racist towards Spanish people. We all know somebody. I come from a whole family of racist people. My entire family is Republican too. My dad's parents are racist, and my mom's parents are racist. I am putting my own life on the line by speaking about this, and that's what we all should be doing. We could have ended this a long time ago, but people like my mom listened to these racist comments that their parents were making and didn't speak out against it. They kept their mouths shut, or they agreed with them silently, you know? But they didn't do anything about it. They continue to let this be passed on generation after generation. So if you are against racism and you are against discrimination and you're a white person, you need to speak out about it. Otherwise, you are allowing this to continue generation after generation, and you are just as much a part of the problem as anybody else.
It's funny to me when people say, oh, you're talking about race, you're pulling a race card, racism doesn't exist. We live in a post-racial society. It's funny when people get at Black people when we talk about racial issues, they get at us like that, as though racism doesn't exist anymore. And I always tell people that racism does exist. When you really think about it, it hasn't gone anywhere. It's just that it's not politically correct to be racist anymore. It used to be politically correct to show how you feel about Black people on the outside, because you had segregation, you had, the way people felt and where they lived and where they worked in the restaurants, everything was separate. So it was okay. That was part of normal society. But over decades and over time, it has changed to being something that is not politically correct. You don't want to be outed as the person that is the racist, even though we know that racism exists. It's a situation where it's like, okay, you can feel how you feel. Just don't get caught doing it. Just don't get caught saying it. Don't let nobody catch you emailing it to anyone. Then we have to treat you as a group as though you're a racist also. And when I say we have to treat you, I'm talking about Caucasian people have to treat other Caucasian people. You've seen this with Donald Sterling. You've seen this with different people, whereas it's okay behind closed doors in the comfort of your own home to say what you want to say about Black people and how, you don't like them and you're racist towards them. But when it comes to, being out in the world, it's not politically correct. It's not something you should say. You should, choose your words wisely and your actions wisely, because if you're outed, then we have to make you an example. We have to show the world and show Black people that, hey, we are about, stopping racism. We are about people not being able to say these type of things about Black people. We're about that. But it's really just a show. Like this man just said, in his house, both sides of his family is racist. And I'm sure there's plenty of Caucasian people who are racist and they don't even know it. They have certain views about Black people and they don't even really realize that it stems from the generational conversations and the mindset towards Black people. And what are those people are going to say to someone like this? He said, I'm putting my life on the line. They look at people like this as traitors to their race. That's how they look at people like this. And I'm not saying all white people. Now, let me just put a disclaimer in the middle. This is controversial. This is a very controversial topic, but this is Black Authentic Truth. These are issues that Black people deal with. These are issues that all people deal with, but this is definitely reality. This is not movies. This is not social media. This is reality. This is a reality for a lot of people. And if you don't have to look at it, you just turn a blind eye to it. Now, getting back to what I was saying about him, I'm sure that if he's living in a small town, some hick town or something, he's got to worry about his safety. There's been many times during the civil rights movement, during different eras of time, where white people stuck their neck out to talk up and speak up against racism or to, fight against bigotry and prejudice. And sometimes they lost their life at the hands of other white people who looked at them as traitors. So with that being said, he definitely is putting his life on the line. But in the big picture, He said, they need to speak up. His people need to speak up about the racism, like he's speaking up about the racism he sees with his parents. I see it this way. Many of us understand, and I'm talking about Black people, we understand that racism does exist. We understand that it's still there, but many Black people have got this mindset where they don't want to upset anyone by talking about it. They would rather just not look at it and not see it. Black people usually would rather look at the faults of Black people than actually look at racism and understand that it is a reality. We would rather charge one another and point the finger at one another than point the finger at racist practices, discriminatory practices. We would not want to go against the grain. The way I see it, and this is my opinion, they don't have to tell one another and push one another to stop being racist and speak out, because Black people are going to make it do what it do anyway. Look at the do slavery. So we are the people that had to deal with all of that and make lemonade from lemons and go through all of this stuff and still show resiliency and still survive and still make it and still be great and still be people that the world emulates. So it really doesn't matter at this point. If that was going to happen, it would have happened 100 years ago.